Okay, a couple of things that I like to have when I do this. This is magnetic. That's very handy. If you're like me, you like to drop those things. I've got a book here. This book is okay. It's not great. It's the Stromberg CD Carbs. One of the things that's missing, for example, is the tightening sequence on the bowl. I have another book that shows that. I usually try to get one or two books for each set of carbs that I'm working on. But in here it has a disassembly guide, but then most importantly an overhaul chapter, right, that we need to look at. Gives us some ideas in terms of what's good and what's not so good as we go through this. I've got a bunch of parts that are in various stages. I like to use Napa carb cleaner and then Berryman. That's the best stuff for me that I like, and so I clean this up, you know, a little bit. I'm gonna go put some gloves on, and let's get into it. Look, let's see, where is it? What I did is on one of the corners, I notched this so that when I put it back together, I know where that goes. All right, so that the top goes on the bottom at the same place that it came off. Okay. So first thing we need to do is take the empty the oil. Always make sure you have the right screwdrivers. I have a selection of these that I've built over time. This is a paint can opener. This works really well. That way you don't get what these will do. This will just mar the heck out of it. So the first thing we have to do is empty these. Not surprisingly, this was just about empty. Okay. So then let's take off the cover, and always have the right screwdriver. I have got a bunch of screwdrivers. Just try to make sure that I use the best ones so I don't mess up the screws. You know, you buy expensive cars, or you put a lot of time and effort into to restoring these. Go buy yourself the right set of screwdrivers so that you don't mar the surfaces. Let's see. These aren't too bad, but whoever had this before, you know, you can see, you know, why do that? Get yourself the right set of screwdrivers. When I take those off, if I'm restoring something, I will actually sand those down. So that I don't, there we go. So they look better when I put them back on. Let's get a little bit more closer in here maybe. Okay. I'll take this off. Gently. Sometimes these don't like to cooperate. Awesome. Okay. So we'll lift this out. Look at that. There's no gasket on this. Really? Oh, wait a minute. They decided to make a little gasket there. So we'll clean that off. Here's the spring. This is an old racer's trick. They put these in the bottom to get it make it more difficult for the throttle, the air valve to go up and to come back down faster. So it's a little bit of extra weight. Spring. Right. So this will go into the cleaner. Okay, let's take a look at this. This actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. Okay, now be careful. Again, use the right screwdriver. And you see, I only get them started. I'm not doing by hand. That's just my personal preference because I scratch less. The needle, that's the screw that holds the needle. Just loosen it, don't take it out. This should come out with finger pressure only. But just loosen the screw, you don't have to take the screw out all the way. This carb is harder. Well, we have new needles, so I'm just gonna get on that. Okay, this is stuck. This is a tool that you should never see when you're working on a carburetor. But we have new needles, so throw that away. Okay, so let's get this retaining area undone here. All this will go into the cleaner. This ring comes up. Diaphragm. Okay. No reason to put more dirt into the cleaner than we need to. Okay. Alright, now the next set of things to come off are these little gadgets here. Okay, but before we do that, I'm going to take some pictures. If you're like me, all this looks real easy until you want to put it back together again and then can't remember what went where. So I just like to look at it and get a good idea of what's there. Alright. So this is the throttle. Right. Here's the cold start bar. You see that go up? Right. This is kind of neat the way that this works. Right. When you pull the choke on, right, this goes up like this. When you do that, that bar comes up. Can you see that? That bar? That lifts the air valve up a little bit. And also when it does it, see how it's moving the main throttle? The main throttle up a little bit. So with these carbs, when you put the choke on, right, that's it. It sets the idle, fast idle, raises the idle a little bit, and then returns it to normal idle as you put the choke back in. It also enriches the mixture, right? And then once the mixture once the car starts, right, this will go up, right? So you lift this up to start the car. It sets the throttle to the right location. Once the car fires, the air valve goes up, and you have an instant, you don't have to pull the choke out. As the car warms up, you reduce the choke, and you can see how the main throttle goes back to slow idle. Fairly ingenious, actually. All right, nice and dirty. Okay, so let's get these off then. Let's get some more gloves back on. Okay. Don't torque side to side. Let's get in here a little bit. Try not to torque side to side. That's a nice way to ruin your carburetor. But you can use the shaft. Right? Just don't torque side to side. Let me get both these going. Okay. Well, that one came off real easy. This is 7/16. Okay. We should use new stars, but they don't. I don't know why they don't. Moss doesn't put these in the rebuild kit. Anytime you take a star washer off, it should be replaced with a new star washer. That should be self-evident, really. Because once they're compressed, then they don't work anymore, right? Exactly. Okay. Let's get this one off now. Another star washer. Take some of these springs off. Let's see what we got here. How come? There we go. Okay. That's the throttle, main throttle. Spring. Okay. Is there a bending tab on here somewhere? There. And alright, now let's take off the float. 5As. Okay, this, you see a lot of corrosion here, right? Bad, right? That's our fuel today. Modern fuel is a wonderful thing. Okay. I'm going to replace both these O-rings on here, so we can go ahead and take those out. Okay, where's the main jet here? Or jet tube, I guess. What is this? Alright, so I'll take that O-ring off. This doesn't want to come off. Okay. Then again, try to use the right. Oh, I loosened these already. Okay. Okay, here's your bowl. Alright, these come off pretty easy. Alright. Now this is where you find stuff, right? There's a washer that's supposed to be on the bottom of this. It's not there. So this carb obviously been done once. Alright. Probably someone in a little bit of a hurry. Let's take this off. A little bit wider. Got a little snap washer here. Then take that off. Okay. And this comes right out. Holds the float. There's the float. Okay. We'll clean this up a little bit. Okay. Jet. One of the things I don't like on the half-inch, on the Moss replacement, the replacement jet is not a half-inch. Okay. It's also not 9/16. That's also not 14, and it's also not 13. That means it's a crescent wrench jet. Okay, so take this out. There should be a aluminum washer on the bottom. Right, we'll throw that away because we got a new one of those. Okay, so you got the O-rings, the bad washers. Alright, those all go away. Alright, here's one thing. Here's the vacuum, right? I don't know if I want to mess with that yet. Okay. Alright, so let's take the butterfly out. Okay, and always make sure you got the right screwdriver on these. Be careful with these. Right? They all look nice and loose. Whoever did this last time was in a hurry. Okay. Okay. Take this out, take it out to the side, right? I want to see how I don't pull that straight out. That won't come out straight out. Pull to the side and up. That comes out. And then this. Oh boy, listen. Right? So it looks like we got the same problem on this one. Right. All the way through. This one may need new bushings installed. Okay, so the problem here, and here you can see it. See this line right here? Right? You can feel that with your finger. Forget not even your fingernail. Right? Same thing on this end. This is worn, and something needs to be done about it. Also, well, that's not too bad. See, what I'm doing is I'm using the non-worn sides and sliding it back into the body, and then kind of trying to wiggle it a little bit, and it still wiggles probably too much. And again, from the yesterday's video, if this wiggles when this is in here, then you're gonna lose vacuum. right? It's not going to idle correctly. It's not going to return to idle. That's important with a constant depression carb to make sure that you don't have. It's important not to have any leaks anywhere, but it's really important with a CD. All right, so let's get all this stuff into the cleaner, ultrasonic cleaner. More later.